Hey, clickety clackers. I'm here. CrazeWay. Shleepy's here too. I just watched one of the most abysmal videos I've ever seen. That was clearly, I'm not going to name who it was because I don't want hate or whatever, but it was very clearly a tier list about horror video games by people who have never played horror video games. And I'm not just saying that because, like, everyone's free to their own opinion, but they, like, 90% of the list, they were like, I've never played this. Then why are you rating it? So I've decided to make a list solely out of games that I've either A, played, or B, know a sufficient enough information. But 90% of the games on this list I have actually played. Or Shleepy has played.
I'm also not a moron. So this list won't be stupid.
Okay, so we have a top of the line. Legend Array. Great.
Legendary.
Good, okay, bad, terrible. Bioshock. Bioshock's going right up here.
Oh, yeah, that's great, baby.
Best plot twist, well, of its time. I still regard it as one of the best of all time. Horror game, though. Speaking only horror. Once I leave a certain part of the game, I'm trying to avoid spoilers, even though I'm probably going to end up spoiling a lot anyway, it becomes less scary, more bullet spongy.
Yeah. You gotta kind of take pictures the whole time or you're
he's terrifying.
screwed.
Then you get to the Smuggler's Ring, and there's still scary elements. The big daddies are always scary. And then you get to Post Arcadia, and it's just kill everything. No, Sandra Cohen's terrifying.
Sandra Cohen's scary as hell.
Hephaestus, just kill everything.
Just murder.
Hephaestus. Apollo Square, just kill everything. Point Prometheus is a sloth to get through. It's just kill everything. And then it's literally just big blue man boss fight.
Big blue man.
But it's still a great game. I've played it a lot.
It's a phenomenal game.
Don't know where I put its sequel.
That's just good.
But I enjoy its sequel.
That's why it's in good. You can enjoy it.
Speaking of its sequel, the game that's on here solely because it's the sequel and not because it's a horror game. This is
not really a horror game.
It's got some scary elements. Is it bad that I put this in here?
Okay.
Look, these two games have great storylines, and then this game's message is that racism is bad. No shit, racism is bad.
The scariest monster in BioShock Infinite is racism.
This one's about objectionism. This one's about, I know what it's about.
Collectivism.
Yeah, I'm just gonna think of the name of the belief set. And this is just about how racism is bad.
And that's about, hey, what if a white guy ruled the world? Wouldn't that be crazy? And that's pretty much all BioShock Infinite. It's got good gunplay, though. So,
I'm glad
take that as you will.
See my taskbar.
Who care?
I didn't even realize I still had that up, but
who cares?
Care. Let's see here. What comes next? Resident Evil 0. This is good. This is very, very difficult game. So if you're not ready for difficult, don't play it.
That's why they had to dumb down some of the bosses.
Oh my god. It has the worst boss fight in any Resident Evil game. The centipede thing, where it just doesn't fight back, and you can just run around in circles and shoot at it. Like, what? Why is this a boss fight? This is just here because I have too much ammo that you don't want me to have.
Yeah, the best part is it doesn't even it fucking yoinks it yoinks Rebecca, and you're supposed to be like, oh shit, I gotta save her, and then it doesn't kill her at all the entire time. You can just casually run around and do nothing.
It does though. It does nothing.
It doesn't do anything. There's the bat in the church where if you stand in one spot in the church, it just can't touch you, so you just sit there pot shotting it. It's like,
it's a good story, though. Okay. This is aged very, very, very badly.
They're terrible demons. Ouch!
Take this. It's a powerful weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Thank you, Barry. I would never have thought.
Gee. Good. You were almost a Jill
this
sandwich.
Can't go in okay. It can't.
No.
It has to be one of these three tiers.
I'd say put it at great just because it started the entire
survival horror genre.
Yeah. That's top of the line. No more discussion needed.
It's just great.
That's the best Resident Evil game right there. And if you think it's RE4, you're wrong and you're stupid.
Okay, now I'm gonna start getting decisive with things, as if that RE4 comment wasn't. I, this was a great game when it came out, but now it's kind of
Kind of hasn't aged well.
I'm putting it right with this one.
Yeah.
And just to make everybody mad, that's going there too. That game is not as good. It's a great game. It is nowhere near as good as people say it is. The puzzles are almost all fetch quests. Sure, RE1's puzzles are fetch quests, but I actually have to think to solve the puzzles, not pick up valve. That if you miss the valve, you obviously did. If you are running in every room, you will never have to do any of the fetch quests. You should find everything you need. You might have to go back and get it from the box, but you'll know where it is. You know what I mean? It wasn't like RE1 where you're like, where is this? What do I even need for this? It's, a valve is missing. I very clearly need a valve. Well, there's the one and only valve that I passed on the way here that was downstairs.
So, I think the best puzzle in this entire game happens way later on. And it's the vial puzzle where you got to switch them around and make them the correct level. And that doesn't happen until, like, the later half of the game.
Even that's not that hard. The chess piece puzzle is pretty good. My point is, even though RE1, sure, like RE2 was a lot of fetch quests, I actually had to solve puzzles to get my fetch quests. This is just pick up, put in place.
I had to think.
Find valve, stick valve in wall is not a puzzle. It's a fetch quest. Having to figure out I need an arrowhead to open a door, to get a book, to get a key, to open more doors, to find secret masks that are all hidden behind puzzles like having to find a chemical to get rid of a plant, or having to push statues around in a very specific order. Those are puzzles. Not go pick up key, put key in door.
Oh shit, there's a square-shaped hole in the wall.
But
good thing there's a square-shaped crank.
Zombies in this game, they're terrifying.
Oh, scary. Mr. X is not that scary.
No, Mr. X he's scary the first time, and then he's more of an annoyance.
Then it's, oh god. Get the fuck out the way. The lickers are the scariest enemy in this whole friggin' game.
Speaking of Resident Evil, there we go.
That is a great game.
I don't know if I'd put it up here, though.
But yeah, that's not where I would put it.
But Nemesis... Ooh, Nemesis.
Terrifying. The scene of him, jumping through the window into the Raccoon City Police Department with a friggin' rocket launcher. I vividly remember.
He's ugly, but he's not scary. I saw one YouTuber, like when I was younger, equate it to being chased by a giant armadillo. You're not scared of the way it looks. Sure, it doesn't look pretty. You're more scared that it's nigh indestructible and shooting rockets at you.
Yeah. I'm about to get murdered by something twice my size that could bench press me.
The horror kind of goes away when Jill just kind of goes and pushes him off the black tower. And then does it again in a bridge. Funny as hell.
Also, can I just say, I think it's so stupid that in the original Nemesis, one of the scariest enemies in the game is, the hunters that show up, and they only show up when you play as Carlos. And the only reason they're terrifying is because you're equipped with an automatic machine gun. He mows them down, and they're just like, okay, that was fun. Anyway, insta-kill.
What about the worm thingies? Little ground worms.
Those piss me off. They're so friggin' annoying. Because it's not that they beat the shit out of you. It's that they slather around, jump on you, and are just draining your health and being annoying douches. It's like, oh, thanks.
All right.
That is okay at best.
It's a fun game. Okay, the reason it would be good, but it's dumbed down because it's a remake. By itself, it's a fun game. It's not worth $60. It's only, worth $20. But... yeah. It's an awful remake.
If this was the original Resident Evil 3, I'd say this was pretty good.
Oh, God.
As a remake of Nemesis... it makes me want to fucking, bash my head.
Let me just toss a grenade at my death tyrant and watch him go down like a bitch.
The weapon designed to kill STARS members doesn't kill a single STARS member.
Not in the remake. No.
The only really confirmed named character kill he gets is Tyrell, because Mikhail blows himself up. That's not Nemesis doing that. That's Mikhail doing that.
A member of STARS.
No. Tyrell's a member of Umbrella, where Nemesis is from.
What I hate about that scene is that Tyrell is injured, and he can either attack Jill when he's programmed to kill, or attack Tyrell, and he kills Tyrell. Why didn't he just kill Jill?
Just kill Jill. Tyrell's not in your way.
Jill didn't know he was there. They were limping. Well, Jill wasn't limping, but Tyrell was, and Jill was holding on to him, you know? So she was going just as slow as him, and Nemesis kills Tyrell. What?
Like, oh my god.
Nemesis isn't all that smart.
Nemesis is kind of stupid.
Good. This is a great game.
I'm terrified to play that.
It's dumbed down because its mechanics have just gone. Oh.
Yeah, it's does not age well. Also,
there's not much I can say about this. It's fun, I guess.
Steve Burnside is the most annoying character this game series has ever produced. That's top of the line. Look, that's just really good.
I like Resident Evil 4. I think it's overhyped, but I will admit it is like one of the greatest like horror games, I guess. It is a great game, but I just feel like Resident Evil 4, I'm not going to down it down to out of legendary status, because it is definitely a legendary game. I just feel like this game is overhyped. People treat Resident Evil 4 like it is like God's gift to the gaming realm, and it's not. It's fun to play, but it's just that. Yeah. It's fun.
It's really fun. It's not a good horror game.
Or when I think Resident Evil 4, when I think Resident Evil, I think of Resident Evil. I watched one guy, again, not going to name any names, who was likes Resident Evil 2 and 4 so much that they're like, when you think about it, Resident Evil is really the story of Leon. No, it's not.
Not at all. Not even close.
If anything, if you said it was the story of Chris Redfield or even Jill Valentine, I guess. Leon? No, he's in 3 games.
He's in, 3 games, and 3 of them, one Leon, of them sucks.
But one of them sucks. One of them, it doesn't suck, but we'll get to it.
We'll get to that. Also, I want to point out, RE4 has some really fun moments. There are some parts of this game that just make me...
boss fight sucks.
Grind to a halt.
Let me throw the harpoons at
Spear! It's not dead yet.
Oh my god. The remake, I enjoyed it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't... Look, I'm not going to say... It was like this terrible, awful game. It was really fun to play Resident Evil 4 again. First off, Resident Evil 4 never needed a remake. This feels like a cash grab to me. Sure, I think it was done well, a lot better than a certain other remake. But at the same time, why? Code Veronica, Umbrella Chronicles, Darkside Chronicles, all these games desperately need remakes. Outbreak, why 4? Why the one that is still regarded as one of, if not the best Resident Evil game? You know what I mean? Why?
Yeah.
It just feels like people like 4, people will buy this. That's why it feels like they made it to me. Regardless of how good of a job they did.
It feels like they...
ripped the soul out of it.
The fun of RE4 is that it's campy as hell. A random guy is picked up because he survived a zombie outbreak and is trained as a secret government agent and is going alone to a Spanish-speaking village in Spain to rescue the president's daughter.
In the remake, they speak local Spanish and not Mexican Spanish. And that Leon actually learns Spanish and doesn't walk up to a guy in Spain and ask him questions in English.
It's like, hey, buddy, I hate to tell you this. But at the same time, I kind of loved that because it was that American B-movie action stuff.
They took away the talking to the villains on the radio, which was great.
Yeah. RE4 felt like, that fresh into college, happy, fun, go-lucky, oh, we're so fun, we're going to have so much stuff, it's going to be a raging party, and then RE4 Remake feels like he just got kicked in the nuts by college so many times.
But the problem is, in the serious tone, they still try to reference the original, and I don't think it works as well as I want it. Leon still says, where's everybody going? Bingo. But because this Leon is this PTSD having, more serious, I don't see him making these wisecracks. He's taking this 100% serious the entire time. Why is he making jokes?
Yeah.
It's critically unacceptable, though, that I did not get no thanks, bro, in this game.
Yeah, why can't I talk to the villains more? That's the fun of this game.
Good. Oh, wait, last thing. Speaking of the villains, Sadler, done dirty by the remake. He looks way cooler. God. He barely appears and does nothing, and I forgot he was a villain halfway through. Krauser stops liking Wesker, as far as I remember. I haven't finished Separate Ways, and it's just dick-sucking Sadler now.
What the hell? Also, like to point out they made Mendez way more of a threat than he was in the last game.
Mendez, I will say, for all of I mean, even the Resident Evil 4 remake was fun, and even despite its flaws, but the best thing I've seen in a Resident Evil game to date is Leon stabbing Mendez in the arm and then standing there like a dumbass and being like, that didn't work, and then getting bitch slapped.
Oops. They made
Why?
Salazar a piece of shit in this game too.
Oh, that boss
His
fight.
boss fight
Oh
sucks.
my god, that annoyed the hell out of me. Especially, I don't know if everyone has this problem. I know my dad had the same problem, so it might just be a PS4, PS5 thing. I would tell Leon to run, and I had to figure out there were two ways to make him run, and only one really did anything, which was only a problem because the universal run button, which isn't really universal, but in like 90% of games it's the run button. He would run, and then just like when you told him to, he would just give up and start walking.
Yeah.
Leon, what the fuck is this?
Leon, what the hell are you doing?
Like how on one hand, I like how he doesn't jump over lasers anymore because that was unrealistic. But on the other hand, it was amazing and a badass that I jumped over lasers in Spain.
Just dope as hell.
Resident Evil Revelations.
That's a good game.
Good. I don't know what else to say about that. It's really a one and doneer.
It's got one of the best boss fights in the series.
I just don't. I mean, it's replayable, but not like you have to like 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
before you just run right back into it.
I'm not gonna like jump right in, but
I've probably pissed a lot of people off. Look, if this was co-op only, it'd be up here. This is my favorite co-op game of all time. But I have to dumb it down because if you play single player, your partner is so unbelievably stupid.
that's so fucking like watching videos of people doing that and getting like attacked by that is so funny to me because it's like, wow, this is basically just the CPU telling you, suck it, loser.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what happens.
Yeah.
But if you play co-op, oh my god, this game's amazing. It's not really scary. I mean, there are parts like the Reapers, and that's disgusting and disturbing.
And oh,
But then again, I don't think RE4 is really scary either. It has, like, RE5 and RE4 both have great horror ambiance. Also, I'm going to voice a criticism that I think I voiced in my ranking Resident Evil games. If you think 5 is trash because it's more action-y, you cannot like RE4. RE4 is just as much of an action game as Resident Evil 5. You go in and you mow down everything in your path. You are even incentivized. See, and like, let's think of Resident Evil 1. You come across the monster, right? And you think, do I waste the bullets, right? And so I don't know if I have enough bullets for the next threat? Or do I try and run past it and risk getting bit and having to use a healing item? In RE4, it's out of my way.
you have to die.
In horror games, you shouldn't be rewarded for killing anyone. Other than the fact that that enemy is no longer in the way. That should be your reward. You should have to scavenge for bullets. Like in RE2's remake, when you kill monsters, they don't drop goodies.
They don't, casually decide, oh, here's my $20, oh, as they die.
Now we're into the game that I really want to tell you about.
Oh my god. Okay. As bad as that game can be, it can also be really fun. I'd argue
I think
it deserves okay. Yeah.
It's really funny. Single player is not as egregious as it is in RE5 because the player AI is immortal. These are the only 2 Resident Evil games I've ever platinumed, but
yeah.
So I've played a fair share of 5 and 6. 6 is annoying as hell in certain segments. The snowmobile, anytime you have to drive a vehicle, the worst quick time event I've ever had in a video game, Conrad can't relate, but he was there, is playing Resident Evil 6 on professional and telling Leon how to fly a plane. Hated that.
Yeah.
Hey, Leon, let's go up. No, that's too hard. Having to, like, grab the controller, hold on, and be like...
Start slamming shit.
My fingers were numb. But overall, it's fun. I have a lot of fun experiences playing that game. I think I should probably, because I've never made it on my channel, I don't think. I should make a RE6 series with Conrad. That'd be funny.
That would be pretty funny. You know what else is funny? Half of the dialogue from Jake in that game. It's always something with women. Why the fuck did you say that, Doug? What the hell?
Revelations 2.
Okay. You have to speak more on this because my experience with this game is a lot different from yours.
My experience is having to kill everything. I'd say it's good.
Yeah.
Sleepy played as Moira.
I played as Moira, which was fun. I got to help out, whack things with a crowbar, and then I got to play as Natalia, where I sat and point and went, Barry, kill! Barry was like, well, shit, I guess. Shank!
The glasps. I hate the glasps.
Oh, the invisible bug guys.
It'd be fine if I could like throw a smoke bomb or something, but not just guess where are they. I mean, I think I can throw smoke bombs or something like that, but they're so annoying because I'm pretty sure if I forget, they're a one-hit kill. And that's what makes them annoying. Not the fact that they're invisible. I get the mechanic. It's a neat mechanic. Why do they kill me the minute they come up to me? That's annoying as
Why
shit.
do they murder me?
Instantaneous death. Really?
Also.
I don't know where to put this.
I'd say that's great. Oh, for Resident Evil Revelations 2. The DLC where you play as Natalia and Natalia 2 sucks.
Well, it doesn't suck. It's super annoying. Like, you gotta play it in a very specific way, and if you don't do it in a very specific way, you can't do it. I'm sure you can, screwed. But you basically get screwed.
It's like, haha, sucks, buddy.
I don't know if I'd put this in Legendary or not, because this is a really good... Horror-wise, but other than that, the puzzles in this game, ass. The enemy variety in this game, ass, even though I don't think it needed super hardcore enemy variety.
Once you get to the boat, once you get to the boat, that game really drags.
It's not awful. Like, it's not a terrible gaming experience.
No.
And it's late enough into the game where you'll still want to finish it. Well, I'm assuming most people want to finish it, because I did. Even on repeat playthroughs, I still finish it.
I think RE7 has some of the best unlockables in the entire series.
Yeah, I want my running shoes.
Like, the running shoes, if you beat the game in under 4 hours, you get single-handedly like the best melee weapon in the game, where you just hold down the button and it slaughters things in its path.
Now, we're gonna piss people off, because we saw this in a video. RE4, but worse. Mid.
It's okay.
See, here's the thing. Everyone's open to opinions, but I showed Shleepy this the other day. I found a video where a guy was like, didn't like RE8, right? So he put it on the bottom of his like ranking, and the comment section went ballistic. And it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. The amount of random fanboys that came out of the woodwork and be like, Resident Evil 8 is an F-tier game was amazing. Like, who cares? It's his opinion, bro.
This is ridiculous.
Dude, it's just RE7, but RE4. It doesn't even try to be different.
They tried to make Ethan Leon, and it didn't pan out.
It's not a bad game. It's fun to play. It's good to replay, you know what I mean? But beyond that, it's not really anything special. It's just a game. I have fun playing it. It lies to you, too. It gives off the illusion that it's a survival horror game, and it's not. In RE7, you had to pick, do I craft bullets or health items? Both of which are important. In this game, they take two different things. Just craft whatever you want. Also, you can shove as much of that up your ass as you want. You can carry infinite amounts.
Don't worry about running out, because the enemies drop all of it.
It's like, oh my god. It's not a bad game. I don't want to sound like I'm hitting on it. I had fun playing it.
This has my least favorite puzzle in the entire series.
Oh, the piano? Where
you can just go, and I got it.
It's not bad, but it's like 6. It's okay. It's fun to play every now and then. But beyond that, that's all it is to me.
I think it's hilarious that they baited people with Lady Dimitrescu, and then the first boss is the tall vampire lady.
This game.
That's a pretty good game.
I'd say it's okay. It's good on your first playthrough, but repeat playthroughs are kind of...
Also, the tension kind of goes away sometimes when Bendy starts chasing you and you're like, oh shit, a locker. He doesn't know I'm here.
And that you're like, it's like, it suffers from what I like to call the Bioshock syndrome, where I'm just infinitely alive. So it's just like, well, that's not a problem. I'll just respawn and go back to what I was doing.
I got attacked by Bendy, gotta crawl through the goop hole, and I'm good.
This one's better. That
Yeah.
was more fun. You get to fight with a machine gun against Alice Angel.
Which is awesome.
Look, I
Hell
haven't played a lot
yeah.
of this, but I did enjoy it more than this one. Alien Isolation. That's going right.
That game's scary as hell.
The Xenomorph will learn, and he'll hunt your ass down.
I vividly remember we got this on the Xbox, and I'm pretty sure it was either me or my brother, and we had the thing where with the Kinect so that it could detect your mic, and my brother or me, I don't remember who it was, rips the wettest fart we could possibly do at that moment while someone's hiding under the desk. Alien does a complete 180, goes right there, kills it. It was the funniest shit I've seen. I love this game. Scary as fuck.
No, put that back. Put that down. Thank you.
Put that away.
I don't know where it's a fun game, but it's kind of stupid.
It's stupid as hell, and to be honest, the only scary part is getting like 7 or 6 notebooks and then the sweeping guy coming out murdering you.
Gotta sweep.
It's okay.
Choo Choo Charles. Unironically, good game.
Yeah.
Stupid as hell premise.
I get to murder Thomas the Tank Engine.
But with Spider.
It's a childhood dream we've always wanted.
Mid.
Ugh.
Really depends on who you're playing with. That's what really drags this game down. I'll put it up to good. Because if you get a good lobby, it can be really good. But it sure as hell ain't great.
I can be Wesker. Good. Phenomenal game. That's one of the only few games. That and the remake are the only few games where I actually pissed myself.
See, again, the remake, the only reason the remake's not legendary is because I don't feel like it captures... I mean, it does a really good job, but I don't feel like it captures what the original had. Because I already expected new players, it's probably phenomenal, but from personal experience, because I went through expecting Dead Space and got Dead Space, you know what I mean? And I never played Dead Space, this would be up here. But because I already had memories of what was... Even though some things were different, I basically knew what I was in for. It kind of lowered it.
Yeah. Dead Space 2. Move on to Dead Space 2. That is the most mid game I have ever played.
Hang on, let me just do everything.
That sucks. I fucking hate Dead Space 3. Dead Space 2, I'm done talking about because there's not much to talk about it. It was pretty good. The opening scene is terrifying, and the rest of the game is just, okay. But Dead Space 3, I got 5 minutes in and wanted to shoot myself. It is the most mind-numbingly annoying game. It shits all over the story. There's just so much shit. That's a great one.
That doesn't need to be explained. That's just The Last of Us. And I'm putting this here because this is basically the same story, but again, it doesn't... same thing with Dead Space. I went in expecting The Last of Us, got The Last of Us. There were a few surprises, but you know what I mean. I went in there wanting The Last of Us, I got The Last. This game, on the other hand, this isn't bad by any means, because the gameplay's alright, but the story, look, even ignoring the whole weird political drama it got into, this game clashes super hard with the first one. It makes the first one feel useless, and not even because, spoiler alert, Joel dies, which was an awful conclusion. First off, the way he dies is awful. Him dying isn't the problem. The fact that he was disrespected as a character is the problem. He's useless to the narrative. He just kind of dies as an excuse to push a revenge narrative. If he had died in a more meaningful way, would be one thing. We knew he was going to die. We hypothesized he was going to die. It made sense. But you could at least make the original main character have a meaningful death. But that's not my big problem. My big problem is that The Last of Us 1 is all about there's hope. The world may suck, but at least we can still be happy. We can find things worth fighting for. And The Last of Us 2 is, never mind all that. Life, shit.
Also, the whole subplot of revenge for revenge's sake is bad.
The only character who gets a happy ending is the character who gets their revenge.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, it's...
I will give this
fun,
game one thing.
The Rat King?
The Rat King? Scary as fuck. Yeah.
Like, the gameplay's not bad, but some of the story decisions that were made, like, overall, I get, okay, here's the thing I have. If The Last of Us 1 didn't exist, The Last of Us 2 would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
It isn't even because Joel died. It's just because, it's like, let me put it into perspective. It's like having a Batman game where Batman acts like Superman. It completely tone shifts from the original story.
Yeah.
So the people who played The Last of Us 1 and wanted more Last of Us from Last of Us 2 didn't get that. And that's not... If you wanted to make a spin-off in the universe, that'd be one thing. But you made a sequel, and a sequel should adhere to what the original is. Just like when Resident Evil became action gun-shinging crazy shit, people were upset. Because that's not what Resident Evil is supposed to be. You know what I mean, I hope.
Yeah.
Doki Doki Literature Club, unironically, incredible.
Oh, yeah.
It would only be good because of how worth replaying it is, but that plot twist, Monica being like cyber god,
Yeah, I'm upset. I'm scared.
If that game was real though, I'd date her. I'd feel so bad that I'd have to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel bad. Okay, see, here's the problem I have with it. While it's scary, I sympathize with Monica. Because I might be missing something from my memory, but aren't the other characters just pixels? Meaning they're not real? But Monica is alive and sentient, so why do I care that she killed pixels?
Why do I care that happened?
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if she was evil, and then, or something, she's creepy, she's nuts, but I don't think she's nuts, she just wants out. I want out.
I'd be pissing myself too if I found out I was an AI.
Game. Five Nights at Freddy's gonna piss a lot of people off.
Every time I play that game, the first like 20 minutes is just me sitting there going, well, I wonder what's gonna happen now.
FNAF meant a lot. It reinvented horror games. My problem now is though that a lot of indie games are trying to be FNAF. And hidden lore is just... They think they have to have hidden lore for the sake of hidden lore. The only reason FNAF does that is because that's FNAF's thing. You can have a good indie horror game without... Like, having hidden lore isn't necessarily bad. I think some games do it to great extents. But not every game has to be FNAF. And a lot of games seem to have FNAF syndrome, where they're making their lore needlessly complicated. I like solving lore, like with ARGs, but sometimes lore should be solvable. The whole idea of FNAF is that while it is solvable, we'll never know the real answer. You know what I mean? That's the whole point. It's made to be theorized. And while it's okay to make games like that, it's getting a little annoying that every horror indie game lately is like, well, gotta be like FNAF.
I wonder how did FNAF do this?
Speaking of, I'm just gonna speedrun through some of the FNAF games. This is great.
Yeah.
No, you don't get to go in front. You're not special. You were the one rated. You go after Doki. I mean, I'm not saying Doki's better, but Doki's not worse than you either. You don't get to just randomly cut in line.
You don't get to be a douche.
FNAF 3 is only good. I know I raged at this game a little bit ago, but the problem is its mechanics it's bare bones. It's creepy. William Afton's terrifying, but that's about it.
Yeah.
This is back to great. This is terrifying. Conrad's got some choice words for this.
Oh. Aside from Night 4, great game.
Come on, don't you like Night 4?
No, I hated Night 4. It pissed me off to no end.
Great.
That's a fucking phenomenal
Henry's fire speech at the end. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. Giggle Chad line right there. Ugh.
He carries that game, man.
I will say, what they did to Afton in this game, oh my god. Why does he look like that?
Why does he look like a tumor?
Guy. Why is your head a rectangle? Ultimate Custom Night. I really don't know where to put this.
It's as fun as you allow it to be.
Okay, I'll put it in good. Because it can be great and it can be shit. But I guess it's really all on player base, so I'm putting it in good. That's terrifying.
That is scary as shit.
Speaking of, its
know.
sequel comes out tomorrow.
Yeah!
Can't wait for
I can shit myself in first person again!
We forgot to do the Ruin DLC as its separate thing, so it's going to be counted with Security Breach.
Yeah, which, no shit. Um, that's just bad
Exists.
because it's a mobile game.
It's
Nah, it's okay. It definitely does
I don't think
exist.
anything's going in the bad tier.
I can think of one thing going in the bad tier.
What? Well, we'll get to it, I guess.
Yeah.
It was okay. I'll put it at good. It's got some good lore. It's fun. The base game's kind of glitchy. Ruin really carries. Counting Ruin, Ruin's great, but not even. Ruin's not perfect either. People are hyping Ruin up as like it's the best thing because of the Mimic. But beyond that,
The Mimic.
Security Breach is kind of the weakest link in the FNAF games, except for this. That's not bad. It's just, oh, it happened, I guess.
I'm not putting FNAF World on this list either because I refuse to believe that exists.
Fear, First Encounter. Now, the other Fear games are on here because we didn't play them.
Because fuck them. You only need that one. That's great, baby.
I don't think this is legendary. I think this is great.
No.
Alma Wade is terrifying. When
Scary
she crawls into the helicopter at the end of the game, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
Can you, like, leave? Iron Lung, that's going in here. That's
great. That's one of those games that no matter how many times you play it, no matter how many times you play it, that atmosphere and tension gets you. Also,
absolutely,
it's a PS1 style graphics game. Okay. For horror, not really. For fun gameplay, though, fucking phenomenal.
Left 4 Dead 2. I've never played Left 4 Dead 1, so it's not on the list. But Left 4 Dead 2, I love Left 4 Dead 2.
You've basically played Left 4 Dead 1 if you've played the second one.
It's so much fun. And
it's funny as hell.
You can get, like how you can get Rusk, you know, the VR chat cat girl, or some other weird shit. Like the whole...
You can have Shrek as a tank.
Shrek. It's a great...
Like, oh my god.
Outlast. This is a great game.
That is a great game.
Miles, I think his last name, Upshur, though.
Upshur.
Absolute idiot. Stupid moron.
Sees blood all over the place. A guy impaled on a stick and is just like...
Just walks further in.
Like, well, what's really going on here?
Bad things, Miles.
Yeah.
I've never played Outlast 2. Phasmophobia, this game.
That game, to me, is it can be pretty bad.
It can.
Here's the problem I have with Phasmophobia.
This would be up here because of how much it can be, but it gets dumped down to great because sometimes the ghosts just don't care.
Half the time, I'm like, oh shit, the ghosts actively got to do, and then the other half, it's like, well, are you in this room? Nope. That game's awesome, but holy shit, is it a pain in the ass.
You can set off nukes.
You can set off nukes. The biggest problem I have with that game is that it's procedurally generated, and I get that it's supposed to be like a maze thing, but half the time, you're just like, oh shit, I gotta go deeper into the... Wait, I've been here like 50 times before. If you don't have the navigator, you basically can't do this game until you find the navigator, because otherwise, you're shit out of luck.
Silent Hill Origins, a game I don't really remember. Okay, I guess. That says enough about that. A game I don't really remember. I remember the story beats with Travis Gray and shit, but... Oh, I know what's going in bad. I know what you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah. Look.
This is a... Would you put this at great, or does this get bumped down to good because of how it's aged? It still plays, but...
I don't want to put it at, like, good because it's way better than it's just good. But at the same time, it is aged horribly.
So as the original Resident Evil, but if it got great, I think the original Resident Evil got great.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
And that should also get great.
That's just fucking top of the line.
Except for the little roach guys.
No, they pissed me off. It was about to be way worse, too. That is 100%
I love that game.
Great.
Cheryl. Some of the choices Cheryl/Heather make, though, kind of stupid.
Dumb as hell. Douglas Cartland.
You can get him in his underwear.
You can get him in his underwear. I can get the sexy beam. Why is that a game? Fuck Homecoming. I played it for 5 minutes and wanted to kill myself.
They did Pyramid Head so dirty in that game. Why is he in cutscenes? Why is James's personification of guilt here? What is happening?
I'd like to point out, every Silent Hill game has to have this period of slow burn. Each one has you slowly exploring wherever you are, and then eventually bad shit starts to happen. Homecoming, the opening scene is you're strapped to a gurney as you hear people scream past you, and you see Pyramid Head murder a guy. That's not slow burn. That's just boom. You're scary.
This is a hard one. I don't know what to do with Downpour.
I liked Downpour. I'd say it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say it's above okay. A lot of people hate on it. It was fun.
It was really fun.
Out of the woods if you haven't. You're not being a
good. If you get more than 2 enemies attacking you, you're fucked.
Oh, that's annoying as shit.
Yeah. Also, the chase sequence
are awful. The Wheelman's a great boss, but like a puzzle boss. But the Boogeyman, who you can just shoot in the face, walk up and like insta kill by grabbing the hammer.
Yeah. Why? Also, the chase sequences in this game.
What's it called? The Void.
Yeah, bore the shit out of me because it's go down the linear path, except for the one time where they give you a maze with arrows the way you're supposed to go anyway. So
I mean, it wasn't too bad.
No, but it felt like it felt like padding most of the time.
Oops, where's Silent Hill 4: The Room?
We didn't put it on apparently.
Well, I've never played it, so
yeah. And I only know the broad strokes.
I know a lot about it. Not like a lot like not like gameplay, but I know about the story. I know a lot about.
Yeah,
because I've been told things, but.
And to be completely honest, it would probably be good anyway.
Yeah, it'd probably be going and good. PT?
This is where I'm gonna piss a lot of people off. I think at best this game is good because once you get right down to it. This is walk down a hallway to a jump scare.
True. It is scary, like, on your first playthrough, but after that, I feel like it's not even legendary. I feel like, okay, I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off. If this wasn't going to be Silent Hills, and it was just a playable teaser, it would still be considered cool and scary and great. Nobody would care as much as they do. The only reason it is still referenced so highly today is, yes, it's scary, but, like, when I play things and see things from it, it's not any more scary than other games I've played.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't want to disrespect it because PT is scary. PT's got some great stuff. Lisa, I think her name is. The lady, I don't remember. But that is terrifying. The baby fetus in the sink and all that. But at the same time, it feels like, what do I care? That's a weird, harsh way of putting it, but still, it's just walking around hoping for a horror. It's the same problem I have with that SCP Stairs game. It's like a one and done thing. It's not really anything beyond that, which is fair for a teaser. But I don't think playable teaser is like this. PT is like this great godsend.
No, and the issue I have with it is, yes, it builds up atmosphere real well. It does things like Iron Lung, but the problem is the atmosphere doesn't change. You know exactly what you're getting into. Iron Lung, you can't see anything. So the atmosphere is you have to figure out. Like games that build atmosphere, they have to do it and change the atmosphere with it. Otherwise, you get PT, where it's, oh, hey, there's the swinging fridge full of blood and screaming people. That means I'm about this far into the game.
I know. And the thing is, my problem is PT would be great. But again, once you've played it once, you've played PT. I can't get enjoyment out of it again because it's just a linear walk around in the hallway simulator.
It's just, Once you've played it once, you've played it a dozen times.
I've pissed a lot of people off. This is good.
That's a great game. No, not great. It's good.
Put that down. Thank you.
Put that back.
This is great. And
that
might be weird because Slender the Arrival, though. Slender the Arrival is Slender the 8 Pages. No, you know what? It's not great. I'll bump that down to good, too.
The problem that I have with both of these...
The only reason I put it at great instinctively was because I wanted to say it was better, and like I just subconsciously put it a tier above, even though it's in the same tier. It is better than Slender the 8 Pages.
Yeah. It's just... For as threatening... Like, they get Slenderman right, you know?
The Chaser is great.
Chaser's
even though
great.
The level's annoying as shit.
Charlie Matheson, why did Slenderman keep like a zombie corpse man? But whatever. Vic Surge says it, so Vic Surge's word is law. But Slender the 8 Pages really, once you get right down to it, kind of just feels like Fetch Quest the game.
Yeah, go push buttons. Go click pages.
Go collect pages in this map, and that's it. Scary for the time. Gave us a lot of YouTubers screaming, but I
I don't hate it, but it's not. It's a fun game, but once you played it and gotten like 2 or 3 endings, not even that, maybe just 2 endings. And the reason I say that is if you've played it once and gotten the Happy Everyone Lives ending, there's no reason to ever play it again. The only reason to play it again is to try and get the Happy Everyone Lives ending, unless you really like the game. It runs like it feels like a Telltale game to me.
Yeah.
And Telltale games
feels
aren't awful,
like
but
yeah.
how often do you see me replaying a Telltale game?
If you love playing stories instead of games, Until Dawn's great for
Like,
that.
here's the thing. The Last of Us is the perfect way to do a story game. Its story is more important, but the gameplay bits in between aren't boring as hell.
Yeah. Also, they shove it in your face how, like, awesome the butterfly effect is. Like, hey, changes you make here will affect everything. And it's like, yeah, no shit. That's what Telltale's done the entire time.
Afraid of monsters.
All the problems I have with it, okay, most of the problems I have with this game stem from the fact that it's from a gold source
What
engine.
about the flying face guy?
No, those have no excuse. That is just annoying. They suck. They're bullet sponges that murder the fuck out of you with tracking bullets. And if you don't have a deagle, go fuck yourself.
I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's probably good. It's a fun game to play.
Yeah.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's not worth replaying, but it's not worth replaying like over and over and over again. It is fun. The face people made Conrad really angry and was really funny.
Oh my god.
David Leather
also
was having a very bad day.
Like, I get, there are several bits of that game that are like, okay, this is obviously ripped or inspired directly from other horror games. Like, there's a whole map and a chapter in the game where you're in a mansion full of monsters in the woods, and you have to find random bits and pieces to find your way through the mansion. And if this doesn't sound like Resident Evil to you yet, you're an idiot.
Okay, and finally, Jack Sparrow himself. Clap if you
that's
get that reference.
Yeah.
Cry
Thumbs
of
up.
Fears, free Silent Hill.
It's
Best
a free
story
Silent Hill
mode. Storyline in any horror game. To me, it feels so real, and that's because the book, the way it does is great because you're playing spoilers through a book. It is amazing because, and since the book is obviously fictional, and what happens in the game is justified because you don't have to wonder why do the monsters exist because they're not real. It's all great. One of the best allegory movies, right up there with the Joker movie for mental health. It is amazingly well done.
I also love the puzzles are fun. They don't feel annoying. Some of the enemies, Saw Runner's terrifying. See, the problem is you get enemies like Saw Runner and bosses like that. It's like Mace. You gotta think about it. And then you get bosses like the Saw, where I just ran around and stabbed it in the back of shitload and it died.
Well, that's because you're good at video games. Like, I've seen some people who, I'll use are inadequate, I guess, at gaming.
Yeah.
If anybody knows what I'm talking about, I'm not going to name any names because that's rude. And I know I don't have anyone, single person in mind, so don't be like, he's talking about this person in the comments. But I know people, and I've seen people online who are inadequate is a good word. Like, people who die at the most simple things, or what I feel like are the most simple things. But hey, everybody starts games somewhere, right? Nobody's going to walk into every game and be an instant Giga Chad. If you did, I'd be terrified. We're not Technoblade, okay?
If you've been playing video games for, like, your entire life and you don't know how to jump in a game about jumping, maybe you should reevaluate a few things.
That's our list of horror games that we ourselves have played. I'll probably make an updated list because I plan to play games like Layers of Fear, Call of Cthulhu, the Evil Within games and such. But as of now, this is our list. If you have any objections, you're wrong, Hope. Our opinion is correct.
Suck it up. So, you're stupid.
Bye-bye.